which had only 9,000 inhabitants.
The river Tega, Toledo.
It signed the death sentence for Toledo, and it catapulted Madrid right into the limelight, not just of the country, but of the world. Don't forget, the Spanish Empire at that time was the most important and the greatest that the world has ever known, and it was based here in Toledo.
Walking paths.
You'll see some of the typical properties that Toledo is famous for. They cost millions. They're huge, they're sprawling, and you have to have something like 5,000 square meters for it to be called one of the traditional properties. And it's called, the Spanish equivalent is in English, it's called the cricket, La Cicada. So there we are on the right, isn't that a beautiful, beautiful view? With this moat carved by some giant with an axe, through which the river Tagus flows, protecting on 3 corners of the town. The city.
I've heard it in Spain before beauty, but that's my word.
City of Toledo in the river Tega.
On the right, sold recently for 5 million euros. That's how expensive they are. But they have unparalleled views of the city of Toledo.
5 mil.
So then, then the different qualities or the different categories of Damascene jewellery are reflected in the price. You can get something that's relatively cheap, something that's of medium. Knives and the jewellery, that's the gold inlaid plates, jewellery, lots of things made out of it, cups, saucers, which means dough of bread. In the frequent wars which were waged against the Muslims, they sent all the best meat to the that's St. Martin's Bridge on the right, which we will be rejoining our coach there with the local guide later on. All the meat went to the army, and they mashed it all together, crushed it all together, and they got masa de pan, and you'll see little effigy.
Level pictures, big plates, or jewelry, pendants, bracelets, earrings. It's the same process. First of all, okay, they very sharp knife make lines and open grooves into 2 or 3 different directions. After that, they make the sign using always gold or silver thread. When the sign is finished, they hammer into the grooves close.
Oh, thank you.
I'll have 3 of those, says Darlene.
We're in the to buy room, where you come to buy. Yep. there's a cell at the end.
Well, now here we will find all the pieces of medical. I'm going to tell you now if you find the plants. First of all, we find with those three all this line.
Out of my league.
That's why we can choose say that the origin of Toledo as a city is Roman. Romans founded Toledo in the 2nd century before Christ. In the year 192, the most important, the first civilization in Toledo was occupied by Romans, and we can choose it made with two important materials, brick and granite. This architecture is called Moorish or Muslims, made by Muslims.
10th to 11th
and
century
we say
walls.
Mudéjar architecture. And I go to show you to the right the oldest gate in Toledo. You can see to your right now. You can see this parking with this restaurant, very famous in the city. And this gate is called Alfonso the Cid Gate. This name is very special because Toledo was conquered by Christians in 1086. And this Christian king decided to come to Toledo to enter inside the city, accompanied by his troops, and he conquered Toledo. And look the story, because
So this is the remains of the convent of St. Peter and St. Paul. How much left of it, of the 15th century? Not a lot left. The city of Toledo. We're on top of the walls of the fort. The convent fort. These are the flags of Corpus Christi. It's a public holiday today. So this is where the procession today will follow these flags up the street. And we're getting up to the square of Toledo. Up to the old square. Heading down there, the Cathedral of Toledo.
Clearly Kevin's in charge of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
Except when he's not.
It's all the tapestries of Toledo on the buildings, both sides.
El padrísimo.
your lunch, but I need to stop in front of this shop.
Yeah.
The best shop in Spain.
Best shop in
but
Spain.
When I see this shop, come with me, you can see Spanish products like manchego and cheese with different varieties. I don't know if you smell now. The door of the shop is closed, but I can smell cheese. Or you can to see red wines, Iberian ham, saffron, garlic, beer from Toledo, or oil.
Let's go.
Is so, and this is another part of the shop. Marcy.
Here we go.
Yeah, Marcy.
Country road. Take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, take me home. Nothing like a good busker. On in that radio remote. So that canopy is the canopy of the cathedral, and this building is a palace from the 16th century, and there is the cathedral. Wow. So you can read that. It says market or the pastoral agriculture. So it's this down here is the market of the animals. Here's the cathedral. Have a look at that. Woo. So the same architect that did Notre Dame did this one, and you can see it by the statues. You can really tell by the statues on the pulpits. Very similar. The cathedral is supposed to have 2 bell towers. There's one, and this one here it never got finished because of an underground spring. They couldn't build the duplicate tower above it. So we're now inside the Cathedral of Toledo.
Demonstrans custodia is in the middle. Possible is here.
This cathedral has 10 organs. This is the main altar.
To see the custodia because audience area reaction you have another opportunity because you can see the radio is open. Everything is closed. It's only open when in Toledo celebrates the Mass. So in the order, on Sunday morning we celebrate the Mass.
These seats and all this wood is walnut. 15th century, has never been restored. This is original, and this is for the choir. This is where the choir sits. Sistine Chapel lookalike here. And that painting's by Greco, one of the world's greatest ever painters. These are photos by Caravaggio when he was 30. Painted in 1510 by Caravaggio.
In the other side, you can see the Holy Family by Raphael or the Virgin by Raphael.
By Caravaggio.
But for me, it was able to cross this whole
That's the Galera. This one's by Louis Tristan, 1580. These paintings are all in 1500. Jacob Arano, 1510. Just got to catch up. We're going to see the tombs of Carabanjas. Actually broke the ceiling to make that window up there to let the natural light in. Wow.
This natural light has a movement, and during the morning, the natural light
Natural light in the morning comes through and hits the centre of that flower, like gold flower, and then just spreads across the natural light. So this is a tomb of the cardinal that commissioned this.
small pieces just and I want to move again. Follow me.
So this is St. Christopher, the patron saint of strugglers. So he's my patron saint. So the boy on his shoulders is Jesus. And when St. Christopher crossed the river, he couldn't work out why it used so much any, and the boy said, I'm Jesus, I have the weight of the world on me. That's why. There you go. So we're now going to exit the cathedral back out into the square.
Prego qua, signori.
This is a convent of St. Borussia, a nun of St. Borussia.
Oh, did I get all dirty?
Sand.
Oh,
From the wall.
thank you.
You said you were going to touch your bum for an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Just entering the Jewish quarter.
Somebody's holding them up. Yeah, hold them up.
We're now going to Jewish quarter.
I'm waiting for the temperature to come back up.
The minaret of the mosque made in the 9th century. Did that go down?
The map of Spain with Portugal, Iberian Peninsula. In this map is written in Hebrew, Sepharad. Sepharad means Spain, and the Jews from Spain is Sephardic Jews. And this is the first. And three more.
There's 3 more of these. This is the main street of the Jewish quarter. Here's another one.
What is the meaning? What is High means life.
Life.
Life. This is life. This is the most difficult. In front of yeah.
Cork shoes.
Put yourself into the painting.
This is a tomb of.
We are studying the history of this painting.
This is a tomb of Don Gonzalo. That's him being buried there. This is a painting by El Greco, finished in 1588, being buried, ascending to heaven by El Greco. El Greco is up the top, about there. This is a Jewish synagogue, 12th century. This is the convent of St. John for Franciscan monks. The convent of St. John. Beautiful facade.
See where those brown cylinder things are? That's where you land.
Right over there.
But it's not. The line looks a little loosey-goosey.
Well, they're just from one end to the next.
14th century bridge.
Right up there.
Where?
Right up there.
Oh, that's what they're saying. Did you take a picture?
No, I didn't.
Baby，多謝你啊！因為咁啱傾緊偈，有乜對下偈咧？遲啲嚟讀翻書啦，好玩咧，好玩咧，唔係好慢嘅，好慢咧，哦，嗰啲表你冇咁多。
Ya que no tenemos coche, pues nos vamos al río, nos vamos de barquillo, en barquilla.
¿Cuántas veces en el coche de camino de vuelta de Sevilla?
And here we go. So that's pretty much the end of the walking tour of Toledo. So that's our bus over there, the Globus one. Yeah, lovely, interesting. Fair bit to do, fair bit to see. A lot of history, as you would expect.
Next week.